Morning, young scientists. This is Mr. Overholt with the Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools Science Department. Today, we're going to be talking about weather data, reviewing some of our weather terms, and looking at some weather maps. On the screen in front of you is the weather data from our Davis Weather Station for Moore Elementary. Currently, we're at 56 degrees Fahrenheit. We've been at that temperature. We haven't gotten any higher than that since 9:15 this morning. It shows us right here what the high is for the day. At about midnight, it was our lowest. We were at 47 degrees Fahrenheit, so we have increased nicely since then. Currently, we're seeing 6-mile-an-hour winds from the east, coming from the east. Our highest gusts were at 8 miles an hour at 2 o'clock in the morning. So, what instrument are we using to measure our wind speed on here? Hopefully, you said anemometer. That's the one that has those little cups that spin around and makes it move. And that's what measures our wind speeds. And the wind's just stopped out there, so it has gone from down to zero where it has stopped. We just have some light winds happening today. It said it was coming from the east. It said it was measuring the east. That is our wind vane that is pointing to the direction the wind is coming from. So it's coming from the east at that point. Our humidity is at 79%. We're going to take a look at the sky here in a little bit to see what it looks like out there. We haven't had any precipitation yet today. Sounds like that might be changing towards this evening. And our barometric pressure. Our barometric pressure is being measured by the barometer, and it says that it is 30 and 15 hundredths of an inch of mercury. They use the barometer to measure the air pressure out there. It says it's rising slowly. It is rising very slowly and hasn't changed a whole lot today. A little while ago, I looked at it and it was at 30 and 14 hundredths, so it's gone up 1/100th of an inch of mercury. So we are going to be looking at what it is that is happening with these. So this is the part that I like to look at, whether it is rising slowly, it is decreasing. Is it steady? Is the word that they use? They say steady when it is flat. It has not changing at all. So my question to you is this: if my pressure was to decrease, what would be happening outside? What do you predict would happen if our pressure was decreasing? Right now, we've got a lot of clouds outside, and you'll see that video in just a minute. But if we were decreasing, we would be getting more clouds and more moisture, a better chance of getting precipitation because that would be getting us lower pressure. Low pressure brings us more precipitation or more clouds. We already have a lot of clouds, so that means we'd be getting more precipitation. If our pressure were to rise, then we would be having higher pressure and we start to see the clouds clear out. High pressure generally brings us, they say, happy weather. Um, Man named Austin Cavanis used to say that Mr. High Pressure is my fair weather friend. That was one of the things that I got from him when he was speaking about weather to some of our teachers. So we're going to go ahead and look at the map and see what we have. So we're going to look at the Weather Channel. Weather Channel has the current weather map, and it has a lot of our symbols that we look at. So sitting right here in North Carolina, we got this little dashed line on there. That means there's a trough there. We don't really need to know that one, but it's sitting right on top of where we are. We have this blue line with the triangles on it. What does that blue line indicate? What does that blue line represent? Yeah, that's a cold front. The triangles are pointing in the direction that this cold front is moving. So if this is us, we are over here. Our cold front is moving away from us. It's actually moving to the east. It's going out into the Atlantic Ocean. This green and yellow stuff that we have here is moisture. This is precipitation. The yellow means it's harder precipitation. That's what this indicates up here. We don't have any of the pinks of the snows. They have some of that up here in Maine, some of this up in the mountains out in the west, and even into Canada. But right here, coming towards us, is some rain and some heavy rains coming us. They got some real heavy rains right in here. We also see that we've got some low pressure and this red line with the semicircles or half circles on it. What does the red line indicate? What does it represent for us on a weather map? I hope you said a warm front. You're absolutely right. The fun thing about the warm front is that behind it is a warm air mass. So all this air that is behind it is warm, And so this one's telling us that it's moving in this direction. It's moving to the northeast. That means that that's coming towards us. I'll bet you because of this right here, in a couple of days, we're going to see some warming temperatures. Behind here looks dry. I don't see anything there. So we're going to see that come through. However, this is the stuff that's coming through for us next. We know that the jet stream flows. What direction does the jet stream flow? Yeah, it comes from the west to the east. It's coming from the west coast over here, Pacific Ocean and California, and it travels over. It does this dip and dive all the way across. A lot of times, this is what it does. So, because of that, that pushes our winds, that pushes our weather from the west towards over here. So that's why we're seeing what we're seeing going to happen today with this stormy mass of moisture that we have there. This is the observation from my backyard. Notice that we have blanketed clouds, this blanketed stratus clouds covering the skies. We do not see any sunshine. There's any shadows really on the ground. Trees are not moving. There isn't any wind blowing. It's just a very calm day and no precipitation. Data plus observations. So as we look at windy.com, this is a great website to look at all the different factors that we have for weather, and we're going to be looking at lots of different ones of these over the next few weeks. But as we can see, this dot is right about where we are here in North Carolina, and it's telling us we are still at 59 degrees. But we get the chance to look at this. I have this set on temperature. So as we go further away to the north of us, we see our temperatures get a little bit darker green, and the temperatures up here are sitting at 39 degrees. So up at the Ohio Michigan border, it is 20 degrees colder than it is here. We also see that down south of us, closer to the equator, is substantially warmer than where we are. So, what I want to look at here next is I want to look at the precipitation that we have that's out here. So currently, we're sitting here and we're right about where the R of North Carolina is on this map, right there. Like I said before, we're not getting any precipitation, but this is the green that we saw on the other map, and this is what's coming across the United States towards us. So that's what we're going to be watching a little bit here as we move through the day. We also can check what the air pressure is. We see that we've got the low pressure sitting over here in Oklahoma City. We also see that we've got some low that's over here. This is that mess that was happening up north this last weekend. They were getting a snowstorm. We had 80-degree weather. They had a snowstorm. So that's where that is all leaving us, leaving the continental United States. But we're going to be looking at seeing what's happening here. This is what's coming towards us tonight and into tomorrow morning. So if I run this and look at, say, we're looking at tomorrow 5 a.m., I move forward. Ooh, that tells me my air pressure dropped greatly. And if I look at my rain, they're saying that in that time, we're going to be getting the nastiest part of it. That's where we're going to get this part, this red that we have, or pink that we see in there. We're going to get the greatest amount of precipitation there. I'll say we're going to be around the 6 o'clock hour, and we're going to be looking at seeing we're getting a half an inch of rain in that 3 hour period. It's telling me right here. So we're going to be talking about this. We're going to be looking at some of the weather, and we'll see what happens tomorrow as we do another video then.